Hello, everybody. My name is Darcy Oliver, and I love to be able to talk to a lot of amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And I am so thrilled to be joined by someone who I've been a big fan of for quite some time. She's down here for the Supanova Comic Con currently in Sydney. It currently takes place this weekend, and that is Danielle Panabaker. Danielle, thanks so much for joining me and having a bit of a chat.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
So a lot of people know you from being on The Flash. Now, what I love about The Flash is particularly your character of Caitlin Snow. And I love Caitlin Snow. She's pretty much my favorite character on the show. She's such a nice character, down to earth, very warm, and I just love the way that you portray her. You must get a lot of people come up to you all the time and just say how much they love your work on the show, particularly going to all the Comic Cons, and how much they love Caitlin particularly.
Thank you. That's really sweet of you. And yes, I think people do like her. I mean, what I always loved was that she was a smart woman. Like, that was really celebrated for her.
And I think that's great. You know, she's always the person who I think is there for all the other characters. You know, she's always the one, I think, getting everyone else out of a bit of the jam, you know, always the medical doctor with the medical expertise. So yeah, that's why I think that she's such a great character and people just love her so much on that show.
Thank you. I loved her too.
So playing Caitlin Snow, one of the things is on The Flash, you also have an alter ego, and that is Killer Frost. Now, like I say, it's actually good timing because I've actually just been doing a big rewatch of the series, and there are several episodes in which you will be Caitlin and then you'll also be Killer Frost. Like, you'll pretty much be talking to yourself essentially. So I've always kind of wondered, how do you kind of do that? Do you kind of film Caitlin's scenes first, or do you film like the Killer Frost scenes? How does that kind of work? Because essentially you're playing dual roles at the same time. That must be quite difficult.
Yes, it was very tedious to film, that's for sure. And because of the amount of hair and makeup that was required to become Killer Frost, usually what we would do is film my scenes as Caitlin first, and then I would change for my scenes as Frost.
I've been watching it, and yeah, you pretty much shoot your episodes as Caitlin, or your scenes as Caitlin, and then as Killer Frost. I know that Tom Cavanagh, who plays Harrison Wells, he does the same thing also when he's portraying several different iterations of the Wells character. So I can imagine being on The Flash would be quite technical to shoot at times.
Yes, for sure. And you're always, competing against time. You're trying to do it as fast as possible before, you run out of hours in the day to get the shots that you need.
Yeah, for sure. Now, another thing I love about you being on that show is that, I'm right, where you directed several episodes of The Flash. You also stepped behind the camera and directed as well. What was that like, stepping behind the camera and also doing directing as well? How did you find directing several episodes?
I did. It's funny, you just mentioned Tom, and Tom was actually a big inspiration for me in terms of why I wanted to direct. The first time he directed on The Flash, it's always nice to have one of your own, whether it's another actor or someone. Our script supervisor, Lexi, really became a fantastic director as well. So it's always nice to have someone who's a part of the family, so to speak, getting to direct on the show, because they know the show really well and you know that they've got your back. So when Tom first directed that, I really wanted to support him as much as possible. And we did some challenging stuff. I walked barefoot in the snow for him and we had a great time, but I loved seeing him direct, and I really liked seeing him in a leadership position. And I think I learned a lot from him. And yes, it allowed me the opportunity to shadow more people and to get to direct myself.
Yeah, that's amazing. Would you ever consider directing other shows or stepping into doing more directing?
Absolutely. I would love to. It's been a little bit of a tricky time with COVID and all of that, but I would love to direct another show.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I think it's a very different skill to kind of doing a lot of acting, but then a lot of actors do seem to cross over like that and do a lot of directing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think when a show is just beginning, it's trying to find its footing and figure out what elements are successful on the show and that sort of thing. And when you have a new director coming in every week, that can become a little challenging. So hopefully at some point you start to have recurring directors who know the show and know the cadence and that sort of thing. And again, as an actor or a DP or a script supervisor, someone who already knows the tone of the show, it's generally quite successful when they step into a directing role as well.
Yeah, amazing. So, yeah, being part of the Arrowverse and being part of the Flash series, you've also worked with both Amels, which is Robbie Amell and Stephen Amell, on those shows, particularly doing a lot of the crossovers as well, which was always a lot of fun. But I can imagine that would have been technical to shoot as well, because you would have been doing, when you did the crossovers, you'd be doing Flash and the crossovers at the same time. Is that right?
Yeah, I always say this. The crossovers were as much of a love letter to the fans as we could give. You know, I just think that it was, you know, a huge undertaking logistically as well as, you know, emotionally and from everyone who worked on the show. So yes, they were for the fans because the fans loved them. So yes, I got to work with Stephen many times on the crossovers and of course Robbie many times because he played my husband in the show.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem amazing, and yeah, hopefully get to talk.
They're great, but so different. I mean, it's funny that two cousins would both end up being actors, but they're, you know, so different as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I say, I've been a big fan of all the Arrowverse stuff, but the thing about you is it wasn't before Flash. It wasn't actually your first time playing a superhero. You also starred on a series or a movie called Sky High back in the day. So what was that like? Particularly Sky High back in the day had a great cast. You even had Kurt Russell back then. If you can remember back to doing Sky High, what was that like back in the day?
Oh yeah, of course I can remember it. I mean, it was such a pivotal moment in my career and in my life. You know, what I loved about that movie is it had a very 80s sort of John Hughes coming of age feel to it. And I've always loved movies like that. And it was so cool and special to get to be a part of Sky High.
Yeah.
And Kurt was great. He's so funny. He just was a great presence on set. And I think he's wonderful in the movie as well.
Yeah. Incredible. So would you ever consider, like, if Disney Plus came to you and said, we want to do like a Sky High series or another
I would love to. I feel like I've been advocating for, you know, Sky High to continue for years. I think it's so beloved, and it's actually really interesting now to see, you know, people like my age who can show it to their kids. So I think it's kind of stood the test of time, and I would love to see a sequel or something else be made.
Yeah. I mean, you're a mother too, correct? So would you show, what would be the first thing of your work that you would show your kids? Is it The Flash? Is it Sky High?
No, it's not The Flash. I think The Flash would be too scary. I would probably show them Sky High at some point. My kids don't really know what I do yet. We're pretty conservative with how much screen time we give them. So they've mostly just seen cartoons. So explaining the concept of an actor is something we haven't broached yet.
Yeah. Amazing, Danielle. So, yeah, before I do let you go, like I say, you're known in the DC universe, particularly for Caitlin Snow and Killer Frost. It's being taken over now by James Gunn, who's running the studio. But would you ever consider coming back for something in the DC universe, whether it would be a Caitlin Snow or whether it would be a completely new character?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a lot of gratitude to DC and everyone there for the opportunity that I was given to be on the show. And, you know, if there was an interesting way that made sense to return, I would love to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Danielle, look, I will let you go. Thank you so much for having a bit of a chat with me. Particularly, I love learning about the way that you've been a director on the show as well, particularly with The Flash and playing Caitlin, and Killer Frost as well, and being in the DC universe, and a little bit about Sky High as well. And yeah, just enjoy your time down here in Australia, particularly in Sydney. There's so much you can kind of go to some nice bars while you're down here if you get the time to. And yeah,
I'm on mom mode. I'm really with my kids. We're on a family vacation, so we'll go to the zoo, things like that.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of great places you can go as well. So yeah, enjoy your time down here, and I really appreciate
Thank you. So nice to chat with you.
Yeah, for sure. Having a bit of a chat with me. So yeah, enjoy the Supanova Comic Con, and yeah, I hope to see you down here again at some point.
I hope so.
Thanks, Danielle.